Today we're talking about political views. You guys, this is so important, especially with the election here upon us. Do not fear, and or hesitate to talk about that on the first date or even when you're chatting online, okay? However you're meeting people. It is better to know now if they're completely opposite end to whatever you believe. Okay, if they're like some kind of like, if you're moderate and they're like extreme, super conservative, that's not gonna work. Like, it's just not gonna work. And so it's so good to just bring that up and say, oh my gosh, so the election coming around, what are your thoughts? That's it. Like, it's not a yes or no question. It's open ended. Give space for them to share. And like, I'm not going to talk about where I stand. It doesn't even matter. It's about where you stand. And if you're trying to find your partner, it's okay if you guys don't even agree everything on every little detail. But if they're completely, like, for example, oh my gosh, all Trump, pro Trump, and they're going off on how amazing Trump is, and anyone who's against it, like, is an idiot or something, like, who knows, however they're talking. Because we've seen people like this, right? They're super extreme about whoever they're into, and they will not shut up about it, and they're trying to convince everybody. So, you don't want to be in a relationship where someone is so rigid and like extreme and they're not willing to talk to you with an open mind. Super important. So that being said, like, with the election upon us, this is perfect for you to bring it up, like, and I'm talking about not like, hey, hi, I'm glad we matched, who are you voting for? Like, don't do that. It's more like if you're chatting about things that are important, where you guys, live, what you guys do, what do you look, obviously what you're looking for, things are aligned. It's like, oh my gosh. And then maybe on the first date, you can mention it. Hey, what about this election's happening? What are your thoughts? And see what they say. Okay. I think a first date would be a good place to mention it. And sometimes they even have it on their profile, and you could even filter out on your online profile, like, you don't want to see people that are whatever, that maybe not is not aligned to you. Okay. But I feel like sometimes, if someone says they're conservative, doesn't mean they're like extreme, conservative. So I think that I wouldn't just limit that. I would be open, and then in the chat ask about it, and then get more clarity. Okay. The other thing that comes up too, especially like me being in Europe, hello, craziness. And also, I'm Cuban, like my mom's Cuban. Communism, like that, there are communists out there, and you may be listening like, I'm communist. Yeah, like, that's not my bag. And so I've seen that happen, where I've had I that I know that went on dates, and the guy is a communist. And how did we find out, by the way? I helped her look at the profile, and when we went to the bottom like a year ago, like, he was literally in Cuba walking the streets with communists. And I straight up just, said, we're writing to him right now. Hey, aren't those two guys communists? Oh, yeah. Wait, are you communist? Yes. And he had this whole perspective. And that's a bye-bye moment. Like, are you kidding me? They're in Cuba. My mom had to escape Cuba at the age of 4 years old. And like, the communist regime, they took everything from my family. So like, that really hits home, right? So yeah, find out, like, where do you stand? Fine, maybe you're a communist. I can't imagine you are. If you're listening to me, I don't think you are. I don't think. But either way, what I'm saying is that you got to ask these questions. You got to ask, where do you stand in politics, out of curiosity. And one last thing. People always tell you, oh, these are things you never talk about: politics, religion, la la la. I'm the opposite of that. Okay, I'm the opposite. Talk about all the shit that can be controversial, and if it's the right person, they're not gonna go off and be an idiot. They're gonna be open-minded, talk to you intelligently. They have emotional maturity, and yes, and if they show you that they're a douchebag, good, bye bye. Okay. Thanks for listening. And remember, it has to be crazy love or nothing. Till next time.